Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red boils, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
What's in store at our national sales event? A lot. And this month at Panama City Toyota, get 3.99% APR on the super stylish Camry, plus 90 days until you make your first payment, and 3.99% on the impressive RAV4, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Get 2.99% on the ruggedly refined Tacoma, or get 1.99% on the hardworking Tundra. Let's put you in the driver's seat at Panama City Toyota.
Offer expires September 2nd. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linden. Call 850-320-8388.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable buildings. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
Welcome, baby.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz is on the air, coming to you live from ESPN Northwest Florida, here in the world's most beautiful beaches, Panama City Beach, Florida. You can call the show. You can text the show 850-215-6290. We are streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us there as ESPN Northwest Florida. Download the app. We're on the Google Play Store. We're in the Apple App Store. ESPN Northwest Florida is the name there as well. Visit the website, ESPNPC.com, to keep up with everything going on here at the studios. Beach flags are red again out there today, everyone, so be careful out there in the water if you are heading on to the beach. And Tropical Storm Aaron is still out there, still spinning, still not a hurricane, but the future forecasts now are looking for it to curve more off to the north, so it looks like we should be good to go and not have to deal with this storm system. James Fife here in the captain's chair on this Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hanging out with me today, hitting the ones, hitting the twos, making us go out to that world that we call radio. Bone Crusher, Bone Crusher. How's Thursday?
Hot. It's hot. It's sweating. It's sultry out there, and the Braves won.
Braves won. Braves big victory. A little bit of rain on my drive in, but once I got to the studio and I got out of the Jeep to walk into the studio, hot. Just hot. Like hot, humid, sun shining, water around because of the rain, just making it like a nice little outdoor sauna. Hot.
Brutal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same complaint that I have this time of year. It's hot. Yep.
Well, there's a product. I was at the Dollar General that's it's very helpful this time of year. They got these like, I mean, you've probably seen the wet wipes they have in the bathroom section, but they've got on the $1 aisle these large washcloths, but they're like disposable wet washcloths. So that's great in this kind of weather.
Yeah,
You
well,
can
we
wipe
do.
down your whole body.
Well, we've done in the past, actually, like when we're at dog shows or doing dog events with the dogs on hot days like this, we take chamois, like a chamois that you use to, like, do your car and things like that. Wet it down, wring it out, get it a little bit dry. It'll stay cold for a good 15, 20 minutes. So we'll stick them like on the dog's back to just let it sit and keep the dog cool. I'll even take them and go around the neck with them. So for you, those of you out there that are just looking for a creative way to stay a little bit cool, just get one of those, chamois. Get it in some cold water, wring it out, wear it for the rest of the day. It'll be kind of helpful for you. Just little tidbits of facts of living in the hottest part of the world here for a little while. And no, I know it's not the hottest part of the world, but to me, it might as well be some days because it is just hot, hot, hot. We are 21 days away from the NFL football season. We are 9 days away from the college football season. And to all of my Madden friends out there, it has dropped today. Yes, Madden 26 available for all of us out there to play today. So if you've already got it, you've already been playing it, call me. Let me know. Give me a review. Let me know. Good, bad, and or ugly. I want to know the solid truth. And always looking for, I was saying looking for, but no, we still haven't had one. Give me a review on college football 26.
You're gonna
I am going to get somebody to call in eventually and tell me if the game is worth getting or not. 850-215-6290 is where we can talk about that.
You're going to score that game regardless. It's Madden. Come on.
I know. I'm probably going to go out and get Madden.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get it. I'll play it. And, if nobody's going to call me with a review, I'll just have to give you guys a review of what I got from it.
It's going to be awesome. That's the review.
I'm hoping so. It's one of those that it's gotten so stagnant over the last few years that I just worry about that. But it's football. You got to play some football. How can you not be playing football? If you're a gamer, and especially a sports gamer like I am, you just look forward to it. And is it the best product every year? No. But do you get it every year? Yeah, you do. You do. You might complain about it, but you will still say, thank you, sir. Here's my money. And, I'll do that. I might do that today since it came out today and maybe give you guys like an update on Monday. I know. I got friends that I play, online dynasties with and things like that. So if I don't get it, they'll eventually, come on, man, you're not there playing anymore. We need you in the league. Right. So, you end up eventually
People
just,
rely on you.
You eventually just cave into the peer pressure, always cave into peer pressure, kids. Nothing bad ever happens when you do that. And, I'll just cave in and get it.
What about this phenomena when it comes to gaming? I don't know if you've noticed this, but the younger kids, they stream their gaming and other people watch them play games like they're watching.
Oh, yeah, like on Twitch. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, good on them. And if they're getting an audience and they're getting a crowd and people enjoy it, go for it. But the thing is I don't. Guys like PewDiePie, those guys, he got big, started off getting big by just, streaming his video games. And like 5, 6, 8-year-old kids were watching it at the time, just having the biggest time watching a game that they themselves could play. Like, why don't you just go ahead and play it yourself?
You play the game.
No, I mean, I have had games like where I get stuck somewhere and I get frustrated and I watch like a tutorial of somebody else showing me how to do it. But it's not like I watch like the entire game up to that point. I just watch the point of I'm stuck here. How do I get myself unstuck?
Right.
I'm just not into it, man. I get it. I mean, I should probably do it and just see what kind of followers I get. Although I'm pretty boring. It's like, hey, you can watch me play the show or you can watch me play Madden. Hey, how much fun is that?
Watch me go 5-7. Yeah. Woo.
Well, look, I chose Malik Willis as my quarterback because I want to build for the future. Watch me lose.
I know you got a lot to talk about. My final thing on that topic is how I got introduced to it was I put up a video clip of me doing play-by-play to some video of the quarterback named Burkhardt. He was like a backup for the Falcons one preseason. Really good quarterback. I put it out there. And then some gamer who's got a huge influencer played an entire season with him and sent everyone over to my channel, and my video blew up. Like, where are y'all coming from? And they're like, oh, this gamer.
Yeah, we were watching this guy, and he was playing a game, and he said, yeah, look at Bone Crusher and what he does. And, well, I got this one video up, but people love it. People love it. It's always weird, what gets traction sometimes on when you put something out there on the internet and something you think is like, man, people are going to love this, and it gets no play. And then you put something out there that you just think is kind of like, I'm just mostly putting this out there to just have it in my, memory machine of Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is, just for my own, amusement. And it goes and people, take it and run with it. It's the internet, man. You never know what the internet is going to internet next. That's one of the things that I love, the daily memes of the internet. Keep feeding them to me because you just never know who or what is going to be next on the meme machines out there. Love the future for that. But let's get into some last night's scores. We'll start off with the WNBA. The Sun taking on the Sky in Connecticut. The Sun get the big victory, 71-62. That means the Sun are finally above 5 games for the season. Congratulations, guys. 6 wins now. The Valkyries taking on the Mystics. The Valkyries defeat the Mystics in Washington, D.C., 88-83. The Aces taking on the Liberty. The Aces get the victory over the Liberty, 83-77 in Las Vegas. And the Storm taking on the Dream in Seattle. The Dream get the victory on the road, 85-75 over the Storm. Now let's turn our attention to some Major League Baseball scores. Yesterday, the Cubs taking on the Blue Jays. Cubs get the big victory over the Blue Jays, 4-1 there in Toronto. The Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Oakland Athletics. The Rays get the victory on the road. I said Oakland, didn't I? I did. They're not in Oakland. They have no name. They have no city. They are just they're squatting in some kind of minor league ballpark somewhere and just playing baseball. I mean, how else do you want to term it? It's not their park.
Right.
They're not going to stay there long term.
As soon as the owner comes home, they got to scram.
As soon as everybody shows back up, hey, what are you guys doing here?
Change
Get
the
out of my
locks.
ballpark. The Athletics of, they don't have a city. That's just odd to me. But Athletics.
The
Rays.
PCB Athletics.
Rays win 8-2. Tigers taking on the White Sox. Low scoring affair here. The Tigers defeat the White Sox 1-0. The Brewers taking on the Pirates. This game in Milwaukee, it was a trouncing. The Brewers get the victory 12-5 over the Pirates. The Brewers 12 wins in a row now. Quite impressive, ladies and gentlemen.
Means?
They got free burgers somewhere in Wisconsin, Chef Ross was telling us yesterday. Yeah. So congratulations, free burger people.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah, if the Atlanta Thrashers score now, everyone wins a pizza.
We should have that. We should just have that contest right here at the studio for every Thrashers game.
Yeah, if the Atlanta Thrashers score, folks, in the next 15 minutes, everybody
wins a free pizza from every single pizza place in town. All right, the Nationals, Royals. This game in Kansas City, the Nationals get the victory over the Royals 8-7. The Colorado Rockies and the Cardinals taking each other on in St. Louis. The Rockies get the victory over the Cardinals. That is a winning streak for the Rockies, ladies and gentlemen. 2 in a row. Congratulations, Rockies, for busting another bet for me. I should probably stop betting against the Rockies. I'll put them in the playoffs. Diamondbacks taking on the Rangers. Diamondbacks get the victory over the Rangers 6-4. It was Ketel Marte's home run in the 9th inning that put the Diamondbacks on top. Padres just absolutely smoking the Giants 11-1. The Padres sweep the Giants in the series. The Reds defeating the Phillies 8-0. This was my game of the night last night. Reds just taking it to the Phillies. Hunter Green just dishing it. Orioles and Mariners. The Orioles defeat the Mariners 4-3. This game happening in Baltimore. It was a walk-off win for the Orioles. Marlins defeat the Guardians 13-4. That is 13-4. Jacob Mercer has 2 home runs in this game for the Marlins. Twins, Yankees. The Twins get the victory over the Yankees in the Bronx 4-1. The Astros taking on the Red Sox. Astros get the victory in Houston 4-1 over the Red Sox. And the Dodgers taking on the Angels. Ohtani pitched 5 innings in this one, but the Angels get the victory over the flailing Dodgers 6-5. The Dodgers now out of first place in the NL West. That now belongs to the San Diego Padres. Who saw them just falling apart like that? I did not. Now let's concentrate now, just for a little while, on our Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves taking on the Marlins. A great game last night. Didn't start so great for the Braves. Mets come on top in the first inning, get the 3-run lead. Then in the second inning, the Mets add to their 3-run lead with a home run from Juan Soto that scored 2. And then McNeil had a double to get Nemo to score in later that inning. So the Mets up 6-0 in just the second inning. I'm looking at that TV going, boys, again, we did this last night. Do not do this again to me.
Not looking good.
Not looking great. Not looking great. Third inning goes on by. Not a whole lot. Seems that we may have calmed down just a little bit. So we walk into the fourth inning, and let me just read. Let's just go to the play-by-play from the box score for the fourth inning. Peterson pitching for the Mets. Murphy walks. Harris, the second, singles to right. Murphy to second. White strikes out swinging. Alvarez Jr. walks. Harris, the second, to second. Murphy to third. Allen walks, so that means we have walked in a run. We're on the scoreboard, folks. We're on the scoreboard. All right, we are heading in the right direction. Allen walks, Murphy will score, Alvarez to second, Harris the second to third. Then we got Profar doubling in to left. Allen scores, Harris the second scores, and Alvarez Jr. scores. That is a 4-6 ball game now, ladies and gentlemen. We are in it. We are looking quite good. Then Olsen comes in, takes the walk. New York Mets have a pitching chain, and Garrett comes in now, pitching for the New York Mets. Ozuna up to bat, singles off to left field. That means Profar score, Olsen to third base. We are even closer now, ladies and gentlemen. Atlanta Braves 5, New York Mets 6.
It's on.
We are rolling. Albies comes up, strikes out looking. Didn't look great there, Ozzy, but we'll forgive you for a little bit. Murphy takes the walk. Ozuna moves in to second base. And here we are. Michael Harris coming up to the plate.
Murphy at first, Ozuna at second, Olsen at third. 1-1 smacked in the air, deep center field, flying back to the wall. It's a grand slam. Michael Harris to the deepest part of the yard with a big city bomb. And the Braves take the lead on the grand slam by Harris. What a shot by Michael.
Michael Harris with the grand slam there in the fourth inning. 407 feet to straightaway center, really close to that little apple thing that they like to drop up and down. So that would have been super sweet if he got it into that, but just a little bit short. Braves now with the lead 9-6 over the New York Mets. And to finish out the inning, because we just can't leave this story done, White comes up, bases are empty, and he does strike out swinging. So that was 9 runs and 4 hits for the Braves. That's the crazy part on that one, though. Only 4 hits to drive in those 9 runs. Mets pitching was not happening last night.
Gotta get it over the plate, bro.
Then, fairly uneventful 5th inning. 6th inning comes around. Braves up to bat. Olsen walks, and then right after Olsen, we have this.
Here's the 1-1 to Ozuna. Ozuna bangs one deep towards the wall. Nimmo back to left field, and that is long gone. It's a 2-run homer for Marcell Ozuna.
All right, Ozuna getting that home run out to left field, 369 feet, allowing Olsen to score with him. That is just some more insurance runs for the Braves. Final runs of the game for the Braves. Final runs for the game for the Mets, because the Mets did nothing past that second inning. The Braves get the victory on the road over the Mets. A rare occurrence for the season. Braves now 22-38. Playing on the road. Overall, the Braves 52-68. New York Mets now at a 64-56. We can be pushing the Mets out, man. We can get the Mets out of the playoffs. Let us do it. Just looking at the box score for the Braves last night. Couple of players didn't get a hit. And the weird thing is 11 runs. You expect a fair amount of hits through a ball game in which you see 11 runs up on the scoreboard, but the Braves only coming away with 8 hits on the evening. Profar with 3 of them, Ozuna with 2 of them, and Michael Harris with 2 of them, and Nick Allen with 1 of them. So, I mean, if you really go through the list, only 4 Braves making the hits, but most of them for multiple hits. So it's nice to see the bats, at least on some of the guys, warming up. Pitching for the Braves last night, Carlos Carrasco was only in for those 2 innings, gave up 6 hits and 6 earned runs. So it was a combination of the bullpen for this victory to happen. Aaron Bummer coming in, pitching 2.1 innings, getting 2 hits allowed and getting 3 strikeouts. He does get the win for that game, so decided by the official score. Kinsley comes in, collects the hold by pitching 2/3 of an inning, giving up 1 hit, collecting 1 K. Dylan Lee coming in for an inning and 2/3. Johnson coming in for 1 1/3 inning, and Raisel Iglesias coming into the 9th inning. Not a save situation at all, because, the final score there, not anywhere near to something that would cause a save situation to happen. But it's one of those, you got to play them to make sure you don't rust them, because it's one of those, you got to get them out there, keep them in the practice, keep them from having the rust on those arms, because that can happen. That's why you usually see some of these guys coming in non-save situations, but they usually don't look as good in a non-save situation, because I guess that heart rate just isn't up where they need it to be to get all them excitements and to get all them out. Coming up next, great friend of the show, RJ Starksovic. We will blitz around the track and talk some NASCAR. You're listening to the Sports Blitz. Call the show. Text the show 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Dak is the Honda Civic of this league. You never have to worry about getting to work. It will not break down, right? Like, his floor is very high. I think you'd be surprised how many games Dak has won when he's healthy. He has an incredibly high floor. You don't have to worry about silliness. He's an excellent leader.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Weekdays at 1.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a chance of thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and a high of 89 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. Mostly clear skies tonight and quite warm near 81. A mixture of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms, and 88 tomorrow. 89 and a chance of thunderstorms Saturday. This is your Thursday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking and the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword micro to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say micro to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
The 2025 Atlanta Braves are battle-tested, and every game this summer is a chance to get back in the fight.
Punch out towards third, backhanded and fouled around by Riley. Long throw. Oh! What a play by Riley.
Tonight, Matt Olson and the Braves close out their trip to New York as they look for a much-needed division win against the New York Mets.
Braves coverage begins at 6 o'clock for the pregame. First pitch, 6:10. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you have a problem with our hot takes, call us and say it to our face.
10 years from now, I'll be making a difference in this world while you'll be sitting there getting your diaper changed by your nurse.
The Sports Blitz is on the air. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You are tuned in to the Sports Blitz from beautiful Northwest Florida. This is 104.3 ESPN in Northwest Florida, coming to you live from beautiful Panama City beaches. You can call the show. You can text the show 850-215-6290. We are streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Download our app. Take us with you everywhere you go. And visit the website, ESPNPC.com. Braves coverage on the airwaves here tonight at ESPN Northwest Florida. Taking on the Mets. Pregame will be 6 o'clock. First pitch will be 6:15. Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored locally by Bill Burt Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. Got a couple of Facebook fans out there listening. We're getting a good morning from Marie Michelson. Good morning, Mom. How you doing? And Jack Patterson wishing everyone a beautiful Thursday. Thank you very much, Jack. Hopefully you are having a great Thursday hanging out and listening to what we have to talk about.
And your mom is exercising while she listens, so I'm
she's being healthy.
I'm curious, how much does your mom bench?
I mean, she's probably going to be benching around like 250, 280,
Nice,
you know.
yeah.
She got no problem taking me down at all. She'll just take me down. I'm scared. Don't tell her. I'm scared. I guess she already knows, so I guess she heard it. Oh, no! All right. Great friend of the show on the line with us right now. R.J. Starcevic going to go blitzing around the track with us. R.J. Starcevic is the owner and founder of Motor Stardom. You can find his works on Instagram at Motor Stardom. Visit the website motorstardom.com. And the Motor Stardom show drops on Tuesday nights. Where can everybody listen to that show on Tuesday nights, RJ? We are checking in.
I am as well.
Making sure. Hey, RJ, I hear you now. Hey, bud, did you hear me there?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
You got me?
I got you now. So where can everybody find the Motor Stardom show that is released on Tuesday nights?
Yeah, every night on YouTube we'll live stream it, and after the stream concludes, it will be posted in its entirety on the channel as soon as it's concluded. And you can also find it on Instagram and TikTok as well.
All right, man. So we bring you on to talk some NASCAR. So let's talk some NASCAR. Give me a recap of the road course that we know as Watkins Glen.
Yeah, we do know it as Watkins Glen, and it seems like every road course this year could just be named after Shane Van Gisbergen in some sort of capacity. He is putting on an absolute dominant show that we really, quite frankly, have never seen before on these road courses. He collects his fourth win of the season, and it was all SVG for the entirety of the race. We had some little cameos here and there by Chris Buescher, who was able to win a stage and get some points for his playoff battle. Now, as we come down to these final 2 weeks of the regular season, we had some good runnings as well from William Byron over there. He finished fourth. Christopher Bell was the runner-up in second place, but there really was nothing else besides Shane Van Gisbergen just dominating the race. Nobody could touch him. His fastest lap was basically 0.2 faster than everybody else. Every lap he was running seemed like it was 0.3 faster than everybody else. another huge day for him, and in the playoff standings, he is the second driver listed only behind Denny Hamlin, which is a crazy feat for him, a guy that's technically a rookie in the NASCAR Cup Series. He won his first ever race back a few years ago at Chicago, and now to be at a point where he's got 4 victories, he's got a huge point advantage going to the playoffs. Yes, he's not the greatest oval driver in the world, but he is certainly playing the strategy right, and he's going to be somebody to watch here as we get into the playoffs. We'll see how it pans out.
Well, you play the game by the rules that are set in front of you, and the rules that are set in front of him make it pretty easy for that young man to be in second overall in the standings right now. I find it a little crazy, but we'll get into that just a little bit later. So I also got to see a highlight from the Xfinity Series, and I am sure you know what highlight I am talking about. It was a big, big victory for Connor Zilisch, and also a big, big injury for Connor Zilisch.
Yeah, that race was insane from start to finish. We had like a 50-minute red flag before the finish of that race. A giant wreck happened coming to the finish of that event. And then when we finally do get to the finish, Connor Zilisch wins the race. Another dominating performance from him, being able to escape all the carnage as well. And then after the race, gets in victory lane, gets up on top of, climbs out the window of the car, gets on top of the car like everybody else does. But unfortunately this time, seemed like there might have been some liquid on the car or just a loss of traction in the feet, where he slipped down and basically got his right foot stuck. It was right or left, can't remember exactly, but one of his feet got stuck in the window, and he just tumbles down for the hard hit. First time I'd watched that clip, I cringed hard. I was like, oh my goodness, because you couldn't even see it fully when he went down from the TV camera angle, so you don't even know if he went head first or shoulder first. But comes out that thankfully there were no injuries to the head area. He did just break his collarbone. So a few days ago he underwent surgery for that collarbone. We still don't know exactly how long he'll be out for. The Xfinity Series has a week off this weekend, so they won't be racing. So he already kind of has a week to kind of recollect himself. But Daytona's the race after that. So do you want to hop back in a car at a crazy place like Daytona? We will have to see, but definitely we'll probably get a timetable here in the next few days of how long he'll be out, but certainly thankful that it was not worse, because that was a very sketchy and scary fall.
Yeah, when I kind of watched it, because of course it made its way around the internet, and it looked to me like the left foot just gets caught in like the safety netting that's on the window. It just looked like a toe, or do they have something like on the bottom of their feet that like helps them stay on the brake or clutch or gas or anything that could have gotten caught?
Not really. It's still your basic shoe. Everything's designed that you wear in the car to be fireproof to the heat and the endurance that you have to go through during a race, especially in a road course race. But no, nothing special on the bottom of those shoes. Just, again, a thing that thousands of drivers have done thousands of times, and we've never really seen an incident like that before until that happens. Sometimes it takes one of those incidents to happen to now. I'm sure drivers are going to be thinking about that, being a little bit extra careful maybe when they get onto the window. But thankfully a very young guy as well, right? One of the youngest in our sports, the top youngest prospect probably. And he's able to, his second injury this year as well. His collarbone's going to repair, but obviously injured his lower back earlier this year in a crash at Talladega and missed a few races. So it's not been an amazing year as far as keeping the body parts intact for Connor Zilisch and the bones and everything, but still a points leader and still the championship favorite going to the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have a broken collarbone than a messed up back, because it just sounds like one is way easier to fix than the other, and it's the collarbone, I'm going to say.
Yeah, the collarbone. My little brother had a broken collarbone like a year ago, and never had to get surgery for it. But I'm sure it just depends on the extremity. But I know the collarbone's something that can usually repair itself pretty well and heals decently fast, I think. But all depends on the case. So again, we'll just see how long it takes, and hopefully he'll be back to action soon.
So NASCAR did put out a statement that they will make no changes to celebrations in Victory Lane following the accident there that Connor Zilic had. So NASCAR going, yep, something bad did happen. No, we're not changing anything. Probably the way that should be handled.
Yeah, probably. It's something that, thousands and thousands of drivers have done thousands of times. Nothing's ever happened. Just happened to be an incident. Somebody could have been, walking in the garage area and slipped backwards or something. Slips and falls happen, but just makes everybody probably think about it a few times over here the next few weeks when they get on top of the car. But I'm sure once we get towards the end of the year, people will probably, it'll be in the back of people's memory banks already.
All right, looking into the future, coming up this weekend, we got Richmond. So we got a D-shaped oval going on this weekend. What are your previews? What can we expect from the race at Richmond?
Yeah, we're going to be hoping for a good race, an entertaining race. The NASCAR Cup Series has not put on some super entertaining races as of late, so we're going to go to a track at Richmond that isn't known for super entertaining races, but last year we had a crazy finish. I don't know if you'd ever seen, but Austin Dillon went absolutely super deep into the corner, took out Joey Logano, and then took out Denny Hamlin to win the race, and he ended up getting penalized for that. So we got that huge drama-filled finish last year. Don't think we'll see that this year, but I certainly think we're going to see a lot of guys that are going to be trying to maximize points. As we talked about last week, there's only really two drivers that are in points contention for the playoffs, and that's two teammates. For Chris Buescher, he's 34 points above that playoff cut line in 16th, and his teammate Ryan Preece is 34 points below the cut line. So, and it's totally not unforeseen that we could see a brand new winner from below the cut line as well. Brad Keselowski was really fast a few weeks ago. Does he get the victory at Richmond? We don't know. It's kind of the calm before the storm, I say, because in about a week and a half, we'll be up in Daytona Beach. I'll be up in Daytona Beach watching the chaos unfold as the race before the playoffs, that final game of the regular season moment where you got two teams trying to fight to make the playoffs. That's what it's like, except there's about 20 cars that are trying to win a race at Daytona to make the playoffs. So Richmond's going to be a little calm. It's going to allow people to kind of be more in control of their own destiny before we get to Daytona in about a week and a half, where all the chaos is going to break loose.
So you mentioned some of the standings. How about just a quick breakdown for all the folks listening at home on what we could see that final 16 being?
Yeah, so there's still 3 spots left open on points, and I'm going to say one of them is for sure already guaranteed. Tyler Reddick, he's 117 points above the cut line. The 2311 Racing driver, he is all set. With only 2 races left to go, no new winners could bump him out of there. But the driver somewhat in danger but somewhat comfortable is Alex Bowman. He's 60 points above the cut line. Now that gap could be erased if he finishes last at Richmond, has a bad day at Daytona, and we see some new winners. But as long as he can have a safe day at Richmond, he should be all good come Daytona. But the real battle is, like we were just talking about, Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece on that cut line, 2 teammates. And Chris Buescher really just wants to either win or really maximize his points to possibly get ahead of the 48, because, again, there's still a chance we can get a new winner at Richmond this weekend that bumps themselves into the playoffs and bumps Chris Buescher out. But we can go to Daytona, that's anybody's ball game. Anybody could win that race and bump themselves into the playoffs. So it's certainly a very uncertain feeling there for Chris Buescher not being able to get that win at Watkins Glen where they felt like they really could. But it's that point of the year where we've had so many winners, and now it's just waiting to see maybe who can put themselves in victory lane. A Kyle Busch maybe at Daytona, Brad Keselowski. We're just going to have to wait and find out.
You're tuned in to the Sports Blitz 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can call the show and text the show 850-215-6290. We are on the line with great friend of the show, RJ Starcevic, the owner and operator of Motor Stardom. All right, RJ, so just how are your feelings on how NASCAR does the standings and has what they're set as the 16 guys making it in? Do you like the automatic win and in, or do you think that is something that might be looked at in the future to getting changed?
Yeah, and I've always been mixed on that, because I look at what NASCAR, what the chase was, aka the playoffs was about, even 10 years ago. Before that, we'd have 12 drivers only that could make it in, 10 drivers that could only make it in. And nowadays, every sport is kind of like this. I was just thinking about this before it came on the air, where, the NFL has expanded, their playoff seeding over the course of the last few years, adding the 7th seed. The MLB, has added an extra wild card spot, even the year where they had 8 from each division making it in, or 8 from each of the AL and the NL making it into the playoffs. I think that, NASCAR and then going to 16, every sport has really been expanding the amount of people that are allowed in the playoffs. I mean, you could even consider the NBA with the play-in, kind of giving everybody a chance. So the way I look at it is, the winning in certainly adds much more to a win in the Cup Series. It's not just the prize money now. It's not just the feeling of winning a race. It's a beneficiary for fighting for a championship. And so you look at guys down at the bottom of the standings like Josh Berry, who's won a race this year, Austin Cindric, who's won a race this year. Do I see them contending for a championship? No, not at all. Is it impossible? No. But then do I look at those guys down there fighting for, the points in the standings who are kind of bumped out because of these guys who have won these races, like Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs? Do I see them winning a championship? No, not really either. I'd put them on the same playing field. So I think it certainly adds some extra storylines, but, if we had 12 drivers in the playoffs, I would think differently about this. But now that we have 16, and it's kind of like, all right, we're basically accepting half of the field into the playoffs to fight for a championship on an even slate, I don't mind the winning in, and I think, if you're not top 16, certainly by the end of the year, then, you probably were not going to win that championship anyways.
So with NASCAR having segments now for races, and they've been doing this for a little while, so it's here to stay, are pit strategies more or less important now that NASCAR has basically built-in brakes?
It's kind of a 50-50 because they are more important. I think there's more that you can kind of do, but on the flip side, it's like now where your cautions are coming out. Before, when you would take the green flag, there's always a chance that you could run green until the finish of the race. Very unlikely with crashes and incidents during the race or debris and things like that. There would, likely be at least 1 to 2 cautions in a race. But you're kind of guessing maybe if the race isn't playing in your favor already, you're going to try to do something different during a green flag run to either, jump the pit cycle or to try and guess when a caution would be. Now that we have these planned cautions, there are more things that are going into the crew chief's notebook of like, okay, we're going to have a caution here, let's do this. We're going to have a caution here, let's do this. But it certainly is more manufactured to whereas before it was like, you're kind of trying to play a guessing game of when the cautions are going to fall. And you're also planning for the end of the race. It's harder to make adjustments because you don't know when you're going to be able to whereas now, you could take a green. We have a competition caution here. We have a stage finish here, stage here, where you have all these segments and that you have all these opportunities to come back into a race. Whereas 15 years ago, somebody wrecks in the opening laps, that could be their race. They spin out, they go a few laps down, that could be their race. We don't know how many cautions we're going to get. But now somebody spins early in the race, stage 1, they're going to make it back up to the lead lap, by the time we get to the end of the race with all those cautions. So it certainly adds more things that the crew chiefs have to write in their notebook. But at the same time, they're all planned, they're all manufactured. So sometimes you see a lot of teams on the same strategy because we know when those cautions are going to fall.
So as a fan that has not been to a NASCAR racetrack since they have put the segments in, do the fans kind of treat it like a halftime almost? Like, it's coming up, so you don't have to think about like when you want to have a bathroom break or go get another hot dog. It just, does that make it easier for you as a fan to make some of those just basic little life decisions?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I would say it's treated as something just like when you're, at the, you're at an NBA game or an NFL game and you get to the end of the quarter and, you go down to use the bathroom or get a hot dog in line. Those lines are going to be long as hell because everybody's on the same page. But that's what I would certainly compare it to. I mean, obviously I haven't been in the grandstands in a little bit. But I would assume, when stage 1 comes to a close, everyone's like, all right, now it's time to go to the bathroom. Like I said, I know that line's going to be long because everybody else is doing the same thing, but I don't want to miss any racing, just like you don't want to miss any basketball on the court or football on the field. So I would certainly say people treat it as that 100%.
Right on, RJ. All right, RJ, any final words for the people this week?
Yeah, I would say just enjoy the race at Richmond this week if you're watching it, and if you can't, definitely make sure you tune in or make the drive over. I know a lot of people, local listeners here, make the drive over to Daytona. I'm sure there's still tickets available. It's an absolute show. If you've never been, I'll be over there. It's going to be a good time. As long as we stay dry, it's a good time. If you go over there and get rained on, then you don't really have a good time. But if you go over there, it's dry, it's thrilling racing. It'll be at night. We'll be out of the heat because, as we know, it's hot as hell here and very humid.
Very warm.
In Florida. Exactly. But certainly make the trip over to Daytona or tune in on NBC next week, and I can't wait. It's going to be an absolute fantastic time.
Hey, RJ, speaking of the heat, we were giving out tips for staying cool. Do you have any tips for staying cool? James Fife has like what's called a little shimmy.
A chamois like you use to, you're drying your car off. You got a chamois. Just take one of those, soak it in a little bit of ice water, twist it out. It'll stay cold for a good hour or two.
And they've got some giant disposable washcloths at the Dollar General you can get now. But what are your tips?
Yeah, I'd say, when I was playing baseball a few weeks ago, just having the cold towel to put on the neck, make the hats are always crucial. Some sunglasses kind of makes you feel a little bit better in the heat because, you have to have those remedies here, man. You can't just go out there, especially when I travel and I come back here from a place that was significantly cooler. It sucks. It's like you're walking into just a wall of air water. It's frustrating when I get back to Tampa International Airport and I go outside of baggage claim. I'm like, damn, I'm packing this now. But yeah, I just get the cold towel, hat, glasses, try not to wear dark clothing. I like to wear all black sometimes, but not when I'm outside because it just makes it even worse. So, a nice all white outfit sometimes will do you really good. It'll take you a long ways.
Thank you, RJ, for joining us today, my man.
Yes, sir. Anytime. Talk to you guys next week.
All right. We've been blitzing around the track with RJ Starcevic. RJ Starcevic is the owner and founder of MotorStardom. You can visit his Instagram at MotorStardom, and you can visit the website motorstardom.com. The MotorStardom show drops on Tuesday nights. Coming up next, college football rule changes are in play. We'll discuss what they have. You are tuned in to the Sports Blitz. You can call and text the show 850-215-6290, ESPN Northwest Florida.
You've read the headlines. You've seen the highlights.
Highway robbery!
But how about the unfiltered truth?
Steroid era, you can like it, love it, hate it, whatever. It saved baseball.
Since 2017, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has been the undisputed leader for sports coverage on the Panhandle. If it matters in sports, it matters to us, and it matters to you. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
When it comes to building smart and roofing right, TK Vandy's is the name you can trust. They're your go-to for general contracting, design, build solutions, and top quality roofing. From concept to completion, they deliver excellence on time and on budget. Whether it's a custom build or a complex renovation, they've got you covered, literally. Call TK Vandy today and build something better together. TK Vandy, built with purpose, roofed with pride.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorrento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 trusted and from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia@PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
The newest winner captures the checkered flag with the sport's oldest race team. I'm Kyle Rickey. That story next on NASCAR Hot Pass, brought to you by eBay. eBay, things people love.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Welcome. It's about to get pretty wild here. To more where that came from. More fresh starts. And fantastic finishes. More risk. More reward. More chaos. More chills. And more thrills. Welcome to more what you asked for. And a whole lot more to come. Welcome to NASCAR. The NASCAR Cup Series, brought to you by Busch Light at Homestead, Miami. Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
In their 75th season in NASCAR, the Wood brothers celebrated their 101st Cup Series victory and the first for their driver, Josh Berry, who won yesterday's Pennzoil 400 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The win came in Berry's 53rd Cup Series start in his first full season with Wood Brothers Racing. Behind Berry at the finish were Daniel Suarez in second, Ryan Preece third, William Byron fourth, and Ross Chastain rounded out the top five. Berry's victory snapped Christopher Bell's win streak at 3, with Bell finishing 12. I'm Kyle Rickey. This is NASCAR Hot Pass on the Motor Racing Network.
Some people say our opinions are toxic. We say they're just a little terminal. The Sports Blitz.
This malpractice committee has received a few complaints against you.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz is on the air, ESPN Northwest Florida. You can call the show. You can text the show, 850-215-6290. We are streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Download our app. Take us with you everywhere you go. And be sure to visit the website, ESPNPC.com. And we here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida are giving away Jacksonville Jaguar home game tickets. That is correct. Just be tuned in right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, for your chance to land these tickets to Everbank Stadium and to see the Jaguars. All right. So the National Collegiate Athletic Association and college football has announced some new rule changes that will come into effect for the upcoming 2025 college football season. Let's take a quick review, or a not quick review, over some of them that we got on the list that I personally think are good, bad, and some of them just a little bit indifferent, but they're rules that we need to know. So we all know the biggest issue right now in college football, at least I think it is the fake injury thing. It's looking a lot like soccer. It's looking a lot like the NBA. Like you see guys that are like jogging off, like regularly. Okay, I'm jogging off because coach has called me to come off the field, and you can literally see them at some point going, "Oh, I have a cramp in my shin. I'm going to sit down now." Yeah, right. You're getting the command from the sideline there to take a seat, aren't you? So, to help with this, the National Football Foundation on Wednesday announced some rule changes. So, to combat this, what will happen? Well, a team has an opportunity to take a timeout. So, you got 3 timeouts in each half of the game. So, if they're really hurt and they're really bad, you call timeout and you take that timeout. Nothing will happen. other than that player still has to come out for a down. So back in the day, if you took a timeout when somebody was hurt, you took that timeout, they didn't have to sit out a down. Now that player has to sit down for a full down after the timeout, and they must be medically cleared by the medical staff to come back out on the field. Because you used to be able to just like run over to the sideline, wait your one play, run back out. Nobody even talked to you about your injury. You just, kind of got up and limped over with your little bit of a cramp. And then one play later, 10 seconds later, oh, cramp gone, let's go. Yep. So what happens if you don't have that timeout? Well, if you don't have that timeout now, it is a delay of game call, just like if you let that clock run to 0. It is a 5-yard penalty.
Huh. Okay. All right.
So now this only occurs if a player goes down after the ball is spotted. So if, say we're in a scrum, a guy falls.
We're on the pitch.
And there's still play going on and he's holding his knee. Okay, he's down before the whistle. He's down before the ball has been spotted at the 23-yard line.
Right.
You don't need to call a timeout for them, and you will not be penalized on the 5 yards. You will only be called for this after the play is over. So it's one of those that it's like the play is over, we know the play is over, and then you just sit down because of your cramps? Yeah, that is now going to be going the wayside. Hopefully going the wayside as long as referees are paying attention. Now, you might have coaches start having these thoughts of, they got too much of an up-tempo. So, like, right before, Bob goes down with a tackle, make sure you fall down and grab your ankle before the ball is out. You might see some of those, but I doubt you'll see that because you're literally willing to then take one of your 11 guys and just literally tell them, okay, lay on the field and don't be a part of this play. A little bit more of a stretch to want to see a coach do that. So will we see it? Maybe it's just another way to skirt rules because everybody loves to skirt rules. Everybody loves to find that little gray zone. How much can we push it? But if we could get rid of this, that would be absolutely great. I would love to see all the fake injuries be gone out of basically every sport. They all annoy me. They all just make me look at it and go, come on. Are we really that weak nowadays that even when we're losing, we have to fake an injury? Bros, dudes, do better.
Adding layers of red tape to this whole process is really going to slow down the game. It's going to be a pain.
It will.
Subjective.
It'll slow down the game. I do see it slowing down the game, but I mean, the fake injuries slowed down the game. Because you had to wait for, Bob to get up from his fake injury to walk off the field. So that slows down the game as well.
Here's what you do. Here, I got the solution.
Solve it.
All right. So if you're hurt, play clock's running, you're out of timeouts, medical staff grab the stretcher, throw this guy on the gurney, get him out of there before the play clock runs down. Or if he can crawl off the field,
He can crawl out the field under his own power. He's good to go.
Now, what sports? I think in soccer, don't they just keep playing when someone's hurt?
It depends on, all sports kind of have. And technically in football, if like somebody goes down right after the snap, you keep playing the play out, even if that guy's like laying there grabbing his knee. So, you do have in most sports the ability to play out the possession. So even in soccer, like if somebody goes down in soccer, oh, my knee. If you go down and your team has the ball, yes, the whistle will be blowing. But if you go down and the other team has the ball, you've got to get a change of possession for a whistle. Okay. Now, the referee, if he's really looking at it and going, man, that guy's unconscious and not breathing, he has the power to just like stop everything right then and there. But if you're like rolling around, oh, I'm dying, oh. Well, if you can scream that loud, you're not dying. Trust me. I've been around people dying. They don't scream.
Scream on the inside.
Yeah, they're screaming on the inside. You're not screaming so loud. You're like trying to like conserve oxygen and not let it out at that point. So it's a fake injury.
Now in soccer, you can switch out players during live play, right?
No, there must be a possession.
Okay.
Yeah, there has to be a change in possession.
Seen soccer players crawling off the field with a compound fracture, and the play continues.
Yeah,
but
Yeah, they can come off the field and you can play short a guy in soccer, because once you take a guy off in soccer, he's out for the rest of that match. But if a guy's like, quote unquote, injured, but not injured so bad that he can't come back in, you can pull him off to the side and play down a guy. Now, he can return to the field, but he cannot return to the field until the time clock referee guy that holds the clock that lets you know how much time's left and who's coming in and out has a stoppage in play and says, "You may now walk on the field. Thank you." So I don't mind that rule even in, football. If we even want to go down to, okay, your fake injury guy, you now play with 10 guys. You don't get to replace him. No 11th guy. Ooh, that would make it even more dangerous to fake the injury. We will never see that in football because you always have the full complement of 11 guys. But just thinking out loud, man, that might be a way to seriously cut down on some of that, because no coach wants to play down a man. This isn't hockey. This isn't lacrosse where you actually get to play down, a guy. What other kind of things do we see now? So in overtime, each team will continue to be allowed one timeout in the first and second extra periods. Now, once we get into the third chance that we're doing this in college football overtime, each team only has one timeout for the rest of the time. They used to have one timeout for every single OT going forward. So to reduce the amount of time that we're doing in OT in college, we've gone from, getting the ball at the 30 to getting the ball at the 30 twice, and now just doing 2-point conversions. So once we get to the 2-point conversion part of this now, you only get one more timeout through the rest of the 2-point tries, instead of having a timeout for every single 2-point try, because you'd see that a lot. You'd see them come up, look around, see what play is going to be called, what the defense is set up, call a timeout. And that happened constantly, which slowed that process down to like a snail pace and kind of took away from the excitement of it. So the rule there helps pace of play, helps keep it exciting. So that's a winner in my book right there. That's a winner in my book right there to help out with overtimes. Oh, are we at the top of the hour? We are. We have been just chatting along.
We'll get back to it.
We are here at the Sports Blitz, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Call the show. Text the show, 850-215-6290.
You've read the headlines. You've seen the highlights. But how about the unfiltered truth?
Steroid era, you can like it, love it, hate it, whatever. It's a baseball.
Since 2017, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has been the undisputed leader for sports coverage on the Panhandle. If it matters in sports, it matters to us, and it matters to you. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine the rest of the day with temps near 89 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 81. About the same tomorrow, around 88 with mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms. Mostly sunny in the morning, followed by possible thunderstorms Saturday, and very warm around 89. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction, 850-740-3815, or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
GSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Great design is timeless, and that's why Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves offers a stunning selection of vintage, antique, estate jewelry on sale now at 40% off. Exquisite Victorian rings, Art Deco diamond brooches, Georgian and Art Deco bracelets, earrings, and pendants. These one-of-a-kind pieces add personality to any ensemble, and now at 40% off. Find your timeless treasure at Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. The Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz is on the air, 104.3 ESPN North and West Florida, coming to you from beautiful Panama City Beach. You can call the show. You can text the show 850-215-6290. We are streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on those social medias as ESPN Northwest Florida. Download our app. Take us with you everywhere you go. We're on the Google Play Store. We're in the Apple App Store. Find us there as ESPN Northwest Florida. And be sure to keep up with what is going on here at the studio, ESPNPC.com, the website that can take care of you right there. Beach flags are red today, so be careful out there in the water. But we are having a nice, beautiful, weathery, but warm day. And to keep up with all of the weather here in beautiful Northwest Florida, make sure to keep it right here at ESPN 104.3 Northwest Florida for your most accurate forecast and active weather updates with Joanna. A big thanks to Mid-South Lumber, Ellis Agency Insurance, and Earthworks of Northwest Florida for bringing us this very, very important community service. All right, time for the oddities, because truth is always stranger than fiction. Well, only two oddities for us on the day. We'll get this one going all the way from Germany. A row has broken out between two German states, Bavaria and Thuringia, as to who can lay claim to be the inventor of the bratwurst. Until now, the Werkschall Tavern in Bavaria has claimed to be the oldest bratwurst stand in the world. The Werkschall is situated on Stone Bridge in Rosenberg on the Danube River. The oldest document evidence of a cook for a food stall at the Stone Bridge is said to date back to 1378. Wow. That's a long time ago. But now historians in Erfurt in Thuringia's state capital have come across a document from 1269 that mentions people who rented a building with a meat roasting stand and a roasting pan more than 100 years earlier than the Rosenberg sausage stand. Historians are now looking for a site in Erfurt where the sausage stand once stood, but no restaurant there has laid claim to being the oldest bratwurst stand. Previously in Thuringia, the earliest written reference to bratwurst dated back to 1404. It described 1 groschen of bratwurst casing was spent in the town of Arnstadt. Meanwhile, in Rosenberg, the Werkschall is continuing to make the sausages. On their website, it says, much has remained the same since the Middle Ages with the open charcoal grill, the handmade sausage made from pure pork ham, and the sauerkraut from their own fermentation cellar, as well known in the Werkstall mustard. In response to the report from an earlier sausage stand, the Werkschall landlady Alexander Meyer told Germany BR 24 TV, to be honest, it doesn't bother us at all. She said she was proud that her family makes sausages and that people come because of the quality of products. I don't think people will say, I'm not going there because they're not the oldest. It is not the first time that there has been a row about bratwurst. The Bavarian towns of Rendsburg and Nuremberg both used to claim that the sausage was invented. Eventually, a decision was ruled in Rosenberg's favor. So what do you prefer, Bone Crusher? A Rosenberg bratwurst, or do you prefer the bratwurst coming from Thuringia?
I don't know, but you're making me hungry. After the show, I'm going down to the hot dog island at the gas station. I'll get me some food off the Hot Dog Island.
I got no issues with a good hot dog, man. Love me.
And it's
a
not just
good
hot dogs they have on there. They've got like anything you could, like the meat logs. It's like a hamburger, but it's shaped like a hot dog. Yep. On the roll, you get the meat log. They got the what's the Mexican thing they got?
Chorizo.
The chorizo on the roller.
Or a flauta, something similar to like that, yes. A chorizo is a sausage. A flauta is the thing that's wrapped in the corn tortilla and, crunchy goodness.
Yeah, Hot Dog Island.
Hot dogs. So, Bone Crusher, we have discussed radioactive wasps. We have discussed sticking radium into rhinoceri. Yep. And we have discussed nuclear-powered jellyfish.
Yep.
So what do we do to combat these things, Bone Crusher? What is the best way to combat the nuclear fallout that we are experiencing right now? What do you got for an idea? Because I got a great one.
I'll have to research that one. How to stop the nuclear spread, the nuclear winter.
Well, we have found a way. And that way, cyborg cockroaches.
Oh.
Yes, the world will be saved by cyborg cockroaches. So there is a group of people down in, somewhere in Southeast Asia. It actually happens to be Singapore at the Nanyang Technical University. They were looking for ways to, have little robots, little things get into small little cracks. So like say when there's an earthquake or something like that happens and a building falls in, having little itty bitty things that can crawl through any kind of crack to explore places, great idea, right? Their only problem is they couldn't build anything small enough that was mobile, that could carry a camera and get through all these cracks. But they did find that they could put little itty bitty tiny cameras on the back of cockroaches and then have like a little electrode that's going into their brain that can then direct the cockroaches where to go.
No way.
So basically,
remote control cockroaches.
Yeah, they just, and if you look at the website, I'll get it posted here later to the Facebook feed. You can find me at Fife Sports Media out there on Facebook. But they have a full assembly line set up to where they get the cockroach in, they put the straps on the back, they get it to the next set of line, and they put all the electrodes in, then they get it down to the next set of lines, and they connect all the batteries. So they got a full-on factory of cockroach cyborgs ready to be cranked out for us across the world. I don't know what terrifies me more, giant flying insect wasps that have been radiated or our cyborg cockroach masters. Which one will be the end of us? I don't know, but it sounds like either one of those could lead us into the end
it's a little dystopian,
world.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, it's odd that who sat around and said, you know what, the little hot rods cars that we got, not good enough. We need cockroaches. Mm-hmm. Cockroaches are the answer to humanity's future. And then not have that one on the bingo card. So It roughly takes 68 seconds per cockroach to get it fully formed and fitted, ready to go.
Wow.
So apparently they have been working on this for a good minute.
So the next earthquake, building goes down, they're going to send in cockroaches to look for survivors. That's
the plan. Is anything that where it takes a small little space that nobody can really get into. These cockroaches, they're mostly using hissing cockroaches, Madagascaran hissing cockroaches to be direct. So they're a little bit bigger than a quarter, but not a whole lot bigger than a quarter. Maybe the length of 2 quarters and maybe stack like 3 or 4 quarters on top of each other.
So I'm sitting in a building.
And that's the entire size, what you got.
I'm trapped under rubble. Things are bad enough. And then a swarm of cockroaches come and get me. That's going to freak me out.
The little cyborg cockroach probably got like a little red eye that's coming in and out on you. We have the target. Start to feast. Bone Crusher, sorry, man. They're going to feast. They're going to feast. But yeah, so the future of humanity is relied upon via the cockroach. All right, everybody, that is the oddities of the day because truth is always stranger than fiction. Let's get back on into, where were we? We were talking college football, and we're talking some of the new rules. So we got new rules for the review process. So, of course, when the referee runs out there and he has to review the play. So we always used to say that the referees would announce that the call was confirmed. The call on the field has been confirmed. Now they will say the call on the field has been upheld. Okay. That seems like a rule that seems like somebody was just busy one day and told, okay, Bob, you got to think of a rule before you can come back to the table. Okay, how about this for a rule? That just sounds like one of those where it's like, did we really change anything here? No, nothing at all got changed other than we got a little bit of change for the verbal salad.
There was a lawyer involved in that.
Had to have been. I mean, well, if you look at it, most of those guys are lawyers. Like a lot of college referees, a lot of NFL referees are lawyers. I mean, what does Ed Hockley do for a living? He's a lawyer at Hockley and Hockley. If you look at most of those guys, that's what they do for a living. Is they got their side gig, that part-time job as an NFL referee, full-time lawyer, which kind of makes sense. I mean, NFL rules are basically written like lawyer-type laws, so it makes sense that those guys can understand it.
Yeah, only a lawyer would want to change it from
confirmed to upheld.
Yeah, upheld. That does have a little bit slightly different legal connotation.
Yeah, but the other thing that was added to this is the referees are to give a better description for the reasonings for having the replays. So maybe that'll work. If you get a referee that's good at talking or wants to talk, that might do well. He might actually give a good explanation. If you got a referee that just wants to turn it on saying replay, he'll just turn it on saying replay for face mask and then turn it back off and not give us, any greater depth of information. So it's a good idea. But the human element, I think, is not going to make that as good as it, really should be.
They're not very entertaining.
No, they're not supposed to be.
And the play-by-play guys can interview them during the game.
Oh, that's a good idea, though.
I'm kidding. That's being stupid.
No, I love it. I mean, we already talked to
Are you blind? What were you thinking?
We already talked to Major League Baseball players while they're out on the field. Why can't we talk to NFL players while they're out on the field? Why can't we talk to NFL referees while they're out on the field?
I hate that because they're having a conversation, and there's meanwhile, a football game is just broken out, Oh, I mean,
it's
a big play.
As in general, as a fan, I think it's dumb that they're doing this, but I get that they're just trying to show fans that, look, these are just normal guys who do normal type things, even though they're not normal people. They're super athletes, and no normal person is a super athlete, And it's not my thing. I think you're bothering. I don't know if you're bothering the guys. I think some like it. I think some do it because they've been asked to do it and they just don't want to say no. But leave them alone. It's just like the coaches' interviews in the middle of games. Leave them alone. Don't.
Yeah, they're
trying to coach. They're busy over here, man. I don't come up to you in the middle of your job. Like, I'd love to come up to Al Michaels in the middle of a third down call. Hey, Al. Can I interrupt you here for a minute? I know you're trying to call a football game, but let's talk about something a little bit different, Al. How about we do that, Al? And Al Michaels would flip his lid on that. Kid, I am calling a football game. Right. Get out of here.
Yeah. How would you like it?
Yes. All right. So more rules on kick returns. So, when the ball is kicked to you, if any player on the receiving team holds up the eye signal. So, when you put your hand up and you wave it, that means that, you're calling for a fair catch.
Right.
Used to be, it had to be the guy catching the ball or somebody within the vicinity of the guy catching the ball. Now it can be anybody on the receiving team to make the call. So even if you've got a nose tackle out there that was going to go after the punter, he can still stand 50 yards away from the play and wave his arm up in the air. And that is supposed to count now as a, I'm just going to catch it. We're not going to run, guys. So, I know, another rule change for kind of sake of rule change. I can kind of see it as a safety issue if you got a kid out there that's, not paying attention and forgets to wave his hand, so he catches the ball and just gets absolutely run over. He can at least have one of his buddies looking at him going, put your hand up, put your hand up. He's not. Okay, I'm going to raise my hand for you because you're going to get slapped silly. Safety issue.
I might.
Are we going to see it too often? I bet we don't see it real often because it's just such a decision, I think, on the guy that's the return man. Right.
If someone else is calling it, then there's going to be an accident. Not everyone's going to realize.
Yeah, because the thing is the defensive players are also watching where they're going to the guy that's catching the ball, so they're going to see it. But, I guess the referee will just blow the whistle as soon as it's caught so the play's dead?
Weak.
Any defensive player within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, stationary or not, may not make quick and or abrupt aggravated action that simulates action at the snap in an obvious attempt to make the offense commit a penalty. The offense will be held to the same standard as any pre-snap movement that simulates action at the snap is a foul on the offense for a false start. I think that was a whole bunch of words to say you can't try to draw the other guy off sides by quick motions. Now, you used to be able to get back on defense and get set before the snap. Now they're just saying if you do that and it causes somebody on the offense to move, we're just going to go ahead and stop the play, which basically has already been happening. So I'm not really quite sure what this does here, other than I thought this rule already existed. But it's listed as new rule. So I don't know. It kind of reads like offsides did to me already. So, but hey, new rule, letting everybody know.
Okay.
Next, the defense may not have more than 11 players on the field when the ball is snapped. The infraction is treated as a live ball foul and is a 5-yard penalty. If this occurs after the 2-minute timeout in either half, the offense will have the option to reset the game clock back to the time displayed at snap. The game clock will then restart upon the next snap. So what this is doing is, if we all remember last year at the Oregon-Ohio State game, where the Oregon Ducks sent out the extra guy to take a penalty, to take that deliberate penalty for having too many men on the field, to basically run the clock out, which it did. This basically rectifies that. So that way, Ohio State can then come back and say, hey, they had too many men on the field. We're within the 2 minutes. We choose to have that play clock or game clock go back to 30 seconds with the 5-yard penalty on top of it. So that's how I was trying to figure out how they were going to fix that issue, because that could become a very serious bad issue. Seems like they might have found something. We'll see how it plays out. Coach-to-player communications through a helmet is now allowed in the football championship subdivision. So now Division I AA has the same kind of helmet communication devices that you see in the NFL, that you see in Division 1A football. So I thought it had already been there. That's technology that's not exactly new and great and wonderful. It's been out since the 90s. So nice to see it, expanding into other parts of football. I just really figured it would have been there by now.
Are we seeing that anywhere else, from like high school to Pee-wee?
There are certain, because that goes to state by that point. So there's some states that allow you to have, as long as both teams have it and both teams agree to it. Some states say everybody's got to have it, and some states say you can't use it. So it really depends state to state on that point. Because even when I was in high school in Kentucky way back in the 2000s, because I'm old, they had the communication devices. Because in Kentucky it was, if you have it and the other team has it and you agree to use it, go for it. We're not going to stop you. But we're not going to say, everybody has to have it. Because, I mean, there's some schools in Kentucky, I'm sure, that couldn't afford that at all. But most schools, even at that time period, could, because it seriously wasn't that expensive of a thing to do. It was basically like a one-way walkie-talkie. So not hard to do, but again, it was up to schools on if they wanted to do it or not, which I'm fine with that rule. That's fine. You know, I like I said, but for football championship subdivision, I really thought that would have been there over a decade by now. Because, I mean, they're not exactly like really broke poor schools, and it's not a super expensive thing or new thing. It's a nicety, so glad to see it is expanding. A player attempting to recover a loose ball is now added to the list of defenseless players. So, if you are diving after a fumble, after you strip the quarterback and you're diving for it, and you get it and you're trying to get back up, but you just get trucked in the side of the head, or if you take a head-to-head contact, it's just like being one of those wide receivers going up. You are a defenseless player at that point, so they can tag you with, the 15-yard penalty for hitting a defenseless player. I'm not sure why this came about. I don't know if there were just a ration of injuries from it, but I can see it as how they are a defenseless player, because they're not paying attention to anything around them but that ball being on the ground. But again, you really need to be paying attention to everything around you. You got to keep your head on a swivel, because this is football, and there are some really big dudes that want to run you over. Safety issue. Reason for that
This one
rule.
makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And here we go. Final one from the list. Oh, boy. All forms of gun violence are not permitted, and simulating the firing of a weapon is an automatic, unsportsmanlike foul. This year, if a player simulates the act of brandishing a weapon, it is considered an unsportsmanlike act.
Right.
So similar to what the NFL has in there, you can do the bow and arrow, you just can't point the bow and arrow at somebody else. Okay. No guns, no hand grenades. Not going to do that.
What was that movie? Was it the Last Boy Scout?
Yep, the Last Boy Scout, where he's taking the run down the field.
Yeah,
It's raining,
yeah.
and he pulls out the Colt 45.
He's got to get in the end zone.
Well, he's going to get there, man. That was the whole point of that play, was he had to score. So
That's a
by
15-yard
God.
penalty now.
Yeah, it's a 15-yard penalty because they do not want any form of gun violence. And the way they term it there at the beginning of all forms of gun violence are not permitted, and my immediate thought was like, wait, did somebody last Boy Scout a football game last year? I don't remember. Yeah. I figured that's the kind of news that we would have talked about here, because I got to say, somebody pulling out a firearm on a field and shooting a competitor, I think would get our attention and getting us talking about it. Even if it happened at a Division III school somewhere in upper Minnesota, That's just one I'm pretty sure that we'd have an eyeball on. So I was reading it wow, really? And then I got through with it and it was oh, they're just getting rid of the John Morant finger gunning. Shooter! All right, guys, this is the Sports Blitz, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can call the show. You can text the show. Coming up next, I found a couple of more NFL rule changes out there. So we'll go over what they got, and maybe we got time for some NFL legal news.
I'm going to get angry in a minute.
Get angry.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
You're getting as drunk as you could possibly get. You're carrying out goalposts into the river. Just to beat Alabama in the regular season. As an Alabama fan, I feel really good. It's Daddy, sometimes it's okay to allow you guys to win every once in a while to make your program feel really good. You know what I mean?
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN in Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine the rest of the day with temps near 89 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 81. About the same tomorrow, around 88, with mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms. Mostly sunny in the morning, followed by possible thunderstorms Saturday, and very warm around 89. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Want to bet on sports but no clue where to start? Millions of players are already making moves on Hard Rock Bet. Your friends might be winning. Why not you? Bet with confidence. Bets by real players help guide your picks. Go with the crowd and cash in on the wins. Any pick that catches your eye. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
The 2025 Atlanta Braves are battle-tested, and every game this summer is a chance to get back in the fight.
Punch out towards third, backhanded and fouled around by Riley. Long throw. Oh! What a play by Riley!
Tonight, Matt Olson and the Braves close out their trip to New York as they look for a much-needed division win against the New York Mets.
Braves coverage begins at 6 o'clock for the pregame. First pitch, 6:10. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is the Sports Blitz. We don't just talk sports. We start fires. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz is on the air. You can call the show. You can text the show 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida is where you got your radio dial located, and we are streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Download the app. Take us with you everywhere you go, and visit the website, ESPNPC.com. Braves are on the airwaves tonight right here at ESPN Northwest Florida. 6 o'clock for the pregame after the afternoon underdogs. 6:10 for the first pitch against the Mets. Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored locally by Bestway Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, and Brock Pest Control. So found a couple of more, or a few more rules for the NFL to go over that have been released. Now we're getting into some of the more boringer kind of stuff here that you just look at and most people just go, huh? What do you mean by that? But these are kind of a little bit bigger deal for me. So what we have from the competition committee is they have changed a little bit of Article 17 in Section 17 of the bylaws. And this will permit clubs to designate 2 players for return at the roster reduction to 53 players. So what that means during the week for the preseason, because we have 3 preseason games and then we have an off week, that is the cut week. We used to have, cut weeks every single week to get down to the 53. Now we just have one day in which you turn it into the office. Here's our 53. Now with that day, what they are allowing to do with this rule is if you have 2 guys that are on the PUP list, if you have 2 guys that are on the injured reserve or something like that, you are now allowed to take those 2 guys and say, okay, I'm going to activate them. Even though if it is like an IL thing that is supposed to hang on until week 8, but they got better quicker, you don't have to now wait for that time period. You can just go ahead and you can designate those 2 to come back, but you must also put them on the 53-man roster. So you can't just say, oh, we're going to take them off the injured list, we're going to take them off the PUP list, and then go stick them on the practice squad. Can't do that. You got to put them on the 53-man roster. So that allows you to bring in 2 more guys, because it used to only be 8 guys that you could have return. So this now brings it up to 10, but it is only available on that 53-man cut day. So it's basically allowing you to take in 2 more guys that you thought you might have lost during preseason. That turns out weren't as injured as you thought, so now you can get them back into the fold. Another one another new rule. This one is going to be also in Article 17 in Section 17, so we're going to stick right there. The limit of 8 designated for return transactions will only apply to the regular season. Clubs participating in the postseason will get an additional 2. So, with the rule that we read just before that, we know you get 2 now at preseason you can bring back. And now you get 2 more at postseason that you can bring back off of the list. So that could, again, so this is, instead of bringing 8 guys back throughout the year, you now have a chance to bring 12. 4 of them are not during the regular season, only 8 during the regular season. So once you go through your 8, you don't get any more during the regular season, but you can go through your 8 during the regular season. And then when you get to that postseason, once it starts, you get to go, okay, guys, here's my 2 I want to bring back. So this, I like this. It allows you to bring back players that you want to have in a playoff push. This is a good thing. And one more too. This is in Article 18, Section 18. A point differential as the third tiebreaker for awarding contracts. So basically, if it goes to arbitration, the arbitrator has a point system that, you know, we could go find it, but it takes a lot of math and a lot of thought to it. And it does things like how much you got to play, how much guys like that played as much as you did, how much they get paid. Guys that are putting up similar numbers to you, how much do they get paid? You've been there for X amount of time, so you get so many points for this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's they're just trying to find a way, more amicable way to break like a tiebreaker, you know, for when an arbitrator is hearing a contract dispute or a trade dispute or something like that. So again, this is just, administrative word changing. So will it help out? Yes. Is it going to make a difference to most NFL fans? Absolutely not, because we only see, 1 or 2 guys getting to that point every 1 or 2 years anyway, because the NFL doesn't really like to go to arbitrations because it usually goes in the player's favor a little too heavily, which is why we see sit-ins, sit-outs, and things like that, and why players try to get out in front of when there has to be arbitrations. Because nobody really wants to go through an arbitration. No, you don't. Mm-hmm. Resolutions now. So resolutions, those are ideas that are floated by teams, and then all the other teams get together and say, yes, we like this. No, we do not. So we have 3 resolutions going into effect for this season. The first one was brought up by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So for 1 year only, so this is only good for this year, it permits clubs to have 1 video or phone call with no more than 5 prospective unrestricted free agents during the 2-day negotiation period. This will permit clubs to make travel arrangements such as players and agree upon terms. So basically during that, 2-day negotiation period, right before that tampering period, you now get to have 5 phone calls with prospective unrestricted free agents. So you can't talk to guys that are already signed. You cannot talk to restricted free agents, only unrestricted. And you can only talk about things like travel arrangements and coming to terms for a contract, which is basically the only things you really want to talk about really in an off season anyway. So it's not really cutting down on what they can do. It's just expanding on the time period in which they can do it. Number 2 resolution, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, the Houston Texans, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Minnesota Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Washington Commanders came up with this idea. It permits clubs to repair kicking balls or K-balls before game day, similar to the process permitted for all of footballs. So basically, if we remember Tom Brady and Deflategate, we all remember that, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So basically, teams were allowed to get their regular footballs in, do what they wanted with them, soften them up, make them harder, scrub down the little nubs on it, deflate, inflate, whatever it is we wanted to do. Now, a ball for a kick, kicking the ball, that ball was only handed to the teams the day of game day to warm up with those balls. So they were not allowed to go in. You couldn't rub the nubs off. You couldn't inflate it. You couldn't deflate it. So now you just have your kickballs and you just treat them the same as you do your regular, game day football. So that way, if your kicker likes it a little bit more on the inflated side, and as long as it falls within, the PSI pressures and whatnot that the referees will check before the game, cool, go for it. I like this rule.
I had no idea the kickers had a different ball.
Yeah, there's different ball. Kicker has a different ball than the punter. And usually there's a different ball for the place kick versus the field goal kick.
Please.
So that's, and I mean, it's one of those that now you're not, it used to just be like the kick ball. There was like 2 or 3 of them and you just set it out there. Didn't matter what kicker it was. Here's your ball, go kick. Now each individual one's going to be able to have their own ball that they can go, yes, get the place kicker ball.
Overregulated? That is... That's absurd.
I mean, I like the rule. I mean, it's good for the kickers if they like doing something with it, then they get to do it. I just wasn't quite sure what made balls to be kicked that much different than a ball to be just regularly snapped. I just never understood that for the longest time period. But now they've just said it makes no difference now, which is what they probably could have done, 20 years ago, and nobody would have batted an eye. And the third one on the list, coming to us from the Washington Commanders. It permits clubs that may qualify for the postseason to obtain scouting credentials for 2 consecutive games, week 17 and 18, played by a potential postseason opponent. Also requires clubs hosting wildcard games to provide scouting credentials to all teams within the same conference who are participating in the postseason. So this is a fancy way of saying that a team cannot lock out another team's scouts for the postseason. Because you used to have that. Some teams would let teams in because they didn't care. Go ahead, scout us. We'll beat you anyway. Some teams were like, no, we don't want you scouting us. Go watch video. Go away. Go watch video. So now the NFL has just come in and said, okay, everybody, you've got to let the scouts in. You've got to give them the credentials to be there. Now, teams don't have to send scouts to other teams. They don't have to show up and watch. But if the Dallas Cowboys, who aren't going to make the playoffs, go up to the Philadelphia Eagles, who I think will make the playoffs, and say, hey, guys, you're hosting a wild card event. We'll be playing you. We want our scouts here for week 17 and 18. Now the Eagles cannot tell the Cowboys no. They just have to mumble under their breath about why they're here and then hand them the little passes that get you in as a scout, which is, quote unquote, your credentials. Not a bad way to go. I don't know really how much it'll be used because we have so much film nowadays from so many things, from so many different angles. That does it really matter anymore that you're coming in and watching? I don't know. I'm not a professional NFL scout.
I think it would help you see how well a player is, if he's injured, if he's even practicing.
That's true. That's true. If the Eagles got a guy that's been kind of injured the last few weeks and he's in this week 18, last week of the season, how does he look? Does he look like he can be in there? Okay, I get what you're saying now. So I do like it, though, that allows, I think this is better for competition in the playoffs, although playoff competition usually is good competition. But now you get to have a little bit more information on the guys that you're going against. No issues from me on those rules. Real quickly, before we take a break, you're listening to the Sports Blitz coming to you live, ESPN Northwest Florida. Call the show, text the show, 850-215-6290. Lamar Jackson is no longer challenging Troy Aikman to the use over Troy Aikman's use of the number 8. So if you remember back in the spring, Lamar Jackson was on a suing streak. I'm suing you and you and you all for using the number 8. Well, Dale Earnhardt and Lamar Jackson, they settled their case. Dale Earnhardt changed his 8 and made it a little skinnier and fatter at the same time, and it still basically looks like the same number 8. It didn't change really at all.
Did he sue Sesame Street too?
He sued the count. 1 count. 2 count. No. I'm assuming he can't anymore because, is Sesame Street even around anymore? I don't know.
It is, right.
So Lamar Jackson also sued Troy Aikman over the use of number 8 because Troy Aikman has a beer company called the Number 8 Beer Company because he was number 8. Mm-hmm. Do the number 8s look kind of alike? Sure, they look a little bit alike. How much different can you make a number 8 and still have it be comprehensive as a number 8? That's one of those. It's like when Paris Hilton tried to trademark that or when Ohio State tried to trademark the, and they came back with, no, you're not trademarking the. How do you trademark 8? Every time I call an 800 number, I got to give Lamar Jackson $1 now because I used the number 8? Nah. Well, Lamar Jackson has removed his challenge to Troy Aikman using the number 8. So Troy Aikman still gets to use his 8. Lamar Jackson still gets to use his 8. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. had to change his 8. That's a lot of 8s, guys. That is a lot of 8s. But when we get back, we got our $2 bets. And we got This Day in History. You're tuned in to the Sports Blitz. You can call the show, text the show, 850-215-6290, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
The latest Browns hope is Shador. Before then, it was Baker Mayfield, it was Johnny Manziel. At the time, they were with the Cleveland Browns. I think neither of them were ready for the stardom and the roller coaster ride that being the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns comes with the way that this guy is.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Your biggest investment is your home. Protect it while also improving its appearance with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. We have sand, mulch, gravel, or lay down decorative stone, all available for pickup and delivery. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Imagine the moment you proudly pull up to your home that you've worked so hard for, enhanced by quality mulch, decorative stones, and more. Let's make it happen today. Request a quote online at earthworkspc.com or swing by the office at 2005 Industrial Drive. Love the land you live on.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
Your favorite team is garbage.
Dallas? I don't want you going to Dallas at all.
And we're here to explain why.
That place is crawling with crackheads and debutantes, and half of them play for the Cowboys.
It's time to take out the trash on the Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz is on the air, ESPN Northwest Florida. You can call the show. You can text the show, 850-215-6290. We are streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Download our app. Take us with you everywhere you go. And ESPNPC.com is the website for the studio. Keep up with it so you can see what we have going on. Time for our $2 bets, and then we'll roll into this day in history. So, yesterday, I got back to my winning ways finally. Yay! Yay! One of my bets hit yesterday. We are so excited and happy, everyone.
Wow.
So with the Pirates and the Brewers, I said the Brewers would win. That was a true fact. Vaughn would go over half a hit. He got one. Frelick would go over half a hit. He got one. And I said the total would be over 7.5, and we made it past 7.5. So my $2 bet there returned me $8.50.
Nice.
Now, I did miss out on the other ones. For the Braves, Mets, I picked the Mets to win, but the Braves won, so I'm not too upset about that. The Dodgers and Angels, I picked the Dodgers to win, but the Angels won. Not upset about that because I get to laugh at the Dodgers. So losing $2 there, not the worst thing that has happened to me. And I did miss on this one. I picked the Rockies and the Cardinals. I picked the Cardinals to win, but the Rockies had that winning streak of 2 games, and that's because I did singular bets against them. So they decided, hey, that guy's betting against us. We need to pull out a win. Thanks, Rockies.
Do you ever bet against your team?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah.
I would never bet against the Falcons or the Braves or the Dogs. No.
If I get a good odd that I can tune in and I can get some good cash with it if I tune into it, I'm not going to say no. Is it wrong? Is it wrong? It absolutely is.
Are wrong.
It is absolutely wrong. I agree with you on that one. It does not make me the most fanatic of the fanaticals. I'll agree.
You're banned.
But I also live in a capitalist society. I got to make some money. Money make the world go round. Give me the money.
Read your contract. You can't sports bet against your own team.
Give me the money, man.
Pete Rose you.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Give me the money. All right, I got Phillies and Nats tonight. I'll take the Phillies for the win. I'll take the over at the 8.5 on the runs for the game. Give me Luzardo for over 6.5 strikeouts, and I will take Bryce Harper for over the half a hit. That is a $2 bet. That could net me 12 American dollars if I just so happen to be correct. My next bet goes to the Tigers and the Twins. A little bit smaller of a bet for me here so I can try to keep on winning. I'll take the Tigers for the win, and I will take the over 7.5 runs on the game. So that's a $2 bet. That would be $5.70. My dyslexia just kind of kicked in right there. Sorry about that. And we got the Diamondbacks taking on the Rockies. I'm doing it again, guys. I am betting against the Rockies. The Diamondbacks for the win. That's a $2 bet that could return me $3.14. Am I crazy? I might be. And I might just be putting the Rockies into a 3-game winning streak with my decisions. But hey, they can't keep winning them all. They can't. They're bad. They're not a good baseball team. However, they are on pace now to still be better than the White Sox of last season. Right now, the Rockies on pace for 119 losses. The White Sox last year were at 121. So we are in a race here to the bottom. Can the Rockies do it? Right now, I say no. They're playing too well, but I mean, they can get back into their losing ways and totally smash the record as well, because they have just been that kind of a team where they've had like 2 little streaks of like 3-win games, and then they just go into losing, like 9 out of 10. So we'll see. Can the Rockies do it and be the best, worst team ever? Let's roll on into this day in history. It is Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Happy Thursday, all. On this day, 1936, in Berlin, the U.S. wins the first Olympic basketball gold medal with a trouncing of Canada, scoring twice as many points as those Canadians. Wow. 19-8.
Huh.
That is a final score.
In basketball.
Of 19-8. The U.S. defeats Canada. The game is played outdoors on a dirt court in a driving rain. Joe Fortenberry leads the U.S. with 7 points. James Naismith, the inventor of the game, is the one that presents the medals.
Do you think if I could time warp to 1936, I could have made the Olympic basketball team. I think
You would have been the starting center, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Get out there, just block some shots. You can show them that sweet sky hook you got.
I'd dominate the 1936 Olympics.
Just remember, no three-point shots, so don't take any of those outside shots. Just make sure you stay kind of more towards the middle.
Dunk on them.
Dunk it! Although, man, they might have actually charged you with offensive goaltending back then, because that was actually a rule. But not no more. Yeah. I mean, there is offensive goaltending. They don't call it anymore. It's in the rule book. It is just not.
NBA
called.
is becoming unwatchable for me.
They don't call
I would
anything.
rather watch college basketball.
Oh, absolutely. I would rather watch college basketball. You at least get to watch some defense there. That's my big complaint about the NBA is the defense is lacking or non-existent even. And it's 9 out of 10 times you go down the court. It's let's take a three. Let's take a three.
I mean,
let's take a three. How about a three?
I stopped watching NBA for a few years. I tuned back in, and it's like these games are 130 to 120, and that's a low-scoring game. I mean, when I watched basketball, 100 points was a lot.
It was a good game.
Yeah, so it's out of control with the scoring. And another reason I'm not loving the NBA is these guys are too good. I cannot relate to what they're doing. They're aliens out there. And then finally, all the distractions of the game. There's always sound effects and there's always music. It's just taken away from the game.
I really didn't notice how much of that went on until I went with us on the Magic Express to go watch the Orlando Magic. My first time at a NBA game. I mean, I'd watch plenty on TV, and you hear the effects on the TV, but when you actually get there and you watch, it was just, it was a little bit confusing to me because, like you watch the game, like I watch any other sporting event, I'm watching baseball,
it's a little
I'm watching basketball,
yeah.
I'm watching baseball, I'm watching football. Once something happens there, you don't have artificial noise being pumped in. In fact, in the NFL, if you pump artificial noise in while a game's going on, the league fines you for doing so. Because they say keep it quiet. So when guys get up, once the huddle breaks, you're supposed to cut off all of the outside ancillary noises at that point. And there's teams that have been caught. The Titans got caught doing it back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where they would pump in, through the speakers. They would just have a crowd sound coming in through the speakers that sounded like the crowd. And eventually somebody caught on and they got caught. So they got fined by the NFL for pumping in fake noise while the game was going on. So it wasn't like they were playing like a commercial real loud, but they were just, let's just turn on a little bit more crowd noise, make it a little more louder in here. Why don't we?
Sure, that makes the trouble for the opposing team.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make it harder to change plays. Good things like that.
12th man.
Communication is key a lot. This day, 1959, the formation of the American Football League is announced in Chicago. Play will begin in 1960 with 6 cities with the probability of adding 2 more teams later. This day, 2003, New York blackout forces the evacuation of workers and players from Shea Stadium hours before a Mets-Giants game. It is the only Major League Baseball game affected by the blackout that stretched most of the Northeast and through Ohio and Michigan. Elsewhere, 2 WNBA games are postponed, and Yonkers Raceway is also canceled for all of those big old horse racing fans out there. And I do remember that. Like a lot of people without power. I was fine. I was living, in the South. We had electricity, but I remember lots of people without power that night. This day, 2014, sad news. I mourn this news. But Rob Manfred was elected Major League Baseball's 10th commissioner, winning the 3-man race to succeed Bud Selig. Sad day for baseball. 2019, French woman Stephanie Frappet is the first woman to referee a major match in European men's UEFA tournament. She was the referee for the Chelsea-Liverpool match from Istanbul. This day, 2021, Arizona Diamondbacks' Tyler Gilbert becomes the fourth pitcher and first in 68 years to throw a no-hitter in his initial big lead start, leading the Diamondbacks over the Padres 7-0 with the record-tying 8th no-hitter of the season. This day, 2024, New York Yankees slugger Aaron Judge hits home run number 300 in a 10-2 win over the White Sox. He reaches the milestone faster than Ralph Keener in games and faster than Babe Ruth in total at-bats. Aaron Judge loves smashing baseballs. Well, that is history, everybody. Hopefully we get to see some tonight, and we can talk about it next year. My game of the night for tonight, we will go back to the Cubs taking on the Blue Jays. Not an exciting set of games tonight. I think there's only 4-5 Major League Baseball games tonight, so a little bit lighter on the schedule. But the Cubs, Blue Jays, should be a great one. The Cubs are 68-51 on the season. Blue Jays 70-51. The Cubs second overall in the National League Central, 7.5 games behind the Brewers. They are the first place wild card team in the National League, 1 game in front of the Dodgers, who are second in the wild card. The Blue Jays are first in the American League East, and they are first overall in the American League. Matthew Boyd taking the mound for the Cubs, 11-5 on the season with a 2.45 ERA. Taking on the classy Max Scherzer, only 2 for 2 on the season with a 4.21 ERA. Last night's game of the night, Phillies and Reds. Turned out to not be such a great game for the Phillies, an 8-0 victory for the Reds. Sanchez, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks. Hunter Green, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 6 Ks. Miguel Andujar hit a big home run for the Reds for some insurance runs there in the 7th inning. Well, that has been the show on this Thursday, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out on the Sports Blitz. You can always call, text the studio, 850-215-6290. For Bone Crusher, I'm James Fife. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everybody. Keep your stick on the ice.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Thinking about the kicking game when you were talking about it, and the punter is this guy named Blake Dowd, and his transfer school is Colorado School of Mines.
I got my master's from there, and you are so unbelievable.
I know. Weekday morning 7 to 9, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine the rest of the day with temps near 89 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 81. About the same tomorrow, around 88 with mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms.